Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is not a full-blown restoration. My goal is to make it look decent, drive well, and be enjoyable. In other words, this is not a Recaro seat and LS swap kind of video. With that out of the way, let's get started. While parts and wiring diagrams come in from Rock Auto, I figured we might as well start on the interior. Decades of time has clearly left this interior in need of some repair. I got some of the stuff like the transmission and the AC compressor out of the back, but it obviously needs a little more work to get it exactly where I want it. Some of the wiring also looks a bit ugly, so we'll see what we could do there.
Twenty minutes later. 2 hours later.
Now, it's obviously not perfect, but it's a great start. After getting all of the dirt up, I hit all of the surfaces with 303 wipes to give it a bit of shine. Carpets are going to have to wait until I can actually drive it to a car wash, but the rest of the interior looks pretty good. The hatch area was a bit of a pain, but I think it looks much better than it used to. We're expecting a pretty big storm for the next 2 days, so I won't be able to get any more work done until that clears up. I also cleaned up the wiring under the dash and got rid of some of the speaker parts that the previous owner put in. Now, the first thing I wanted to do for the engine was to rebuild the carburetor. I figured that'd be really boring to watch, so I'm just summing it up in a few pictures here. Basically, I cleaned it out, replaced a few gaskets, threw on a new air cleaner, and here's the outcome. Pretty cool, huh? I hooked it all back up even though I don't know what half of these pieces even do. Next thing up was to throw on a new vacuum advanced hose since the original one was missing. After that, I picked up an unnecessarily large piece of heater hose to act as a replacement PCV hose. As you can see here, these fuel lines coming out of the firewall are cracked and brittle. That ghetto fuel filter isn't helping much either, so we're just going to toss the whole thing. Here's the new fuel lines along with a metal fuel filter. Now what I'm doing here is marking both the spark plug wires and their spots on the distributor. That way I don't mix them up later when I have to replace them. Hopefully you can find a better marking tool than a gold Sharpie. Talk about old rubber. I've already loosened the spark plugs with a wrench so that I could take them off by hand. I'm quite curious and a little nervous to see what they look like. Not too bad, definitely fouled though. Let's see what the other ones look like. The difference between the old and the new ones is actually pretty impressive. Now I have to put the new spark plug wires on in the right order. Turns out though, the new wires were already labeled 1 through 4, so my labeling I did earlier was pretty much all for nothing. I also did an oil change after that. The oil was really dirty. I'm a little scared if some of that has to do with age, or if there's a problem that maybe I'm not seeing that is possibly a blown head gasket allowing coolant to get in it, or if too much fuel is mixing with the oil. I'm not really sure, but after we throw in some new oil, I will test out and see if we get the same results or if it comes out cleaner in the next oil change. So far, I think we've done a great job replacing parts that really needed to be replaced. That's all we're going to be doing for today, but next time I will be working on the cooling system and possibly some electrical work. For the sake of keeping this a true budget restoration, we'll be keeping tabs on just how much we're spending. Let's go through the list so far. For the car, extra parts, and the towing, it was $1,000. The fuel filter added on $2.16. For all the hoses that we had cut, that's an extra $10. The NGK spark plugs were $6.08 for all 4. The plug wires were $14.64. The oil and filter, $35, not too expensive. The carburetor rebuild kit was $20, and the air cleaner was another $20. That adds up to a total of $1,107.88 for the total so far. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for part 2.